He wasn't born a gunner, he was a cook, a boxer, a quiet man from Texas who kept ships running with sweat and routine. But when the morning blew apart, he carried his shipmates to safety, then shouldered a weapon he'd never been taught to fire and stood his ground. The world learned his name later, Doris Miller, but in the moment, all that mattered was the next wounded man, the next burst of fire, the next breath of smoke-choked air. That's how legends start, not with rank or training, but with a decision. Hold the line. He stood like iron on the deck, the white Dixie cap throwing a sharp line of shadow across his eyes. Dawn was supposed to be quiet, coffee, laundry run, maybe boxing drills later. Instead, the sky tore open and the ship lurched, alarms screaming, bodies and smoke everywhere. "Battle station," someone yelled. His battle station was gone, blown apart. So he did what made sense, picked up the first wounded man he saw, and carried him through fire and splinters, then another and another. Up on the bridge, the captain was bleeding badly. They eased him down as gently as the ship would allow. Then he saw the idle 50 cal. No gunner, no time. He'd never been trained on it. He racked the charging handle anyway. The big gun spoke, hard and fast, and for a moment the noise in his head lined up with the rhythm of the trigger. Tracers climbed into the morning, stitching at the planes diving on them. He kept firing until the ammo ran dry and the order came to abandon ship. Only when his hands stopped shaking did he feel how hot the barrel had gotten. That sailor's name was Doris Miller, a mess attendant from Waco, Texas. On December 7, 1941, aboard USS West Virginia, he carried wounded shipmates to safety and then manned a heavy anti-aircraft gun, despite having no gunnery training. For his actions at Pearl Harbor, he became the first black American to receive the Navy Cross, presented by Admiral Chester W. Nimitz in May 1942. News of Miller's courage spread across the country. His face showed up on recruiting posters and in newspapers. He toured stateside to sell war bonds, then returned to the Pacific. He was later lost at sea when USS Liscombe Bay was torpedoed off Macon Atoll in 1943, a hero story cut short, but not forgotten. The Navy that once limited black sailors mainly to mess duty began to change. In 1944, the service trained and commissioned its first group of black officers, later known as the Golden 13, a step toward integration pushed along by examples like Miller's. His legacy kept growing. In 2020, the Navy announced a future Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carrier would be named USS Doris Miller, CVN 81, the first supercarrier named for an enlisted sailor and the first named for an African American. Steel is already being cut for her. In the end, Dorie Miller's story isn't just about one morning at Pearl Harbor, it's a promise about who we can be when it counts. A ship will carry his name and new sailors will walk her decks, but the weight of that name lives in us. Do your duty, lift the person next to you, and stand your ground when fear says run. That's the legacy. Simple, strong, and still calling us to hold the line.